Okay, formatting the text layer. From the last video, we clicked on the text tool and we drew a text box, and if you'll notice over here in layers, it's made you a text layer. And I was directing you to the color of your text. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to a step and then backtrack, okay? You can fix your color before or after typing, but if you know, like I know right now, that I need the color of this type to come from a shade from the closet door, you can use your eyedropper tool to select a shade of brown from there. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel here, but if I hit OK, it's going to, well, it's already updated the color there, but I'm going to hit cancel. And whatever color I used last was obviously red, so I'm going to type master bedroom, and it remembers my font size from previously also as the size and the font. Okay, so I'm going to triple click that and get it down to 14, and then maybe okay, so that wasn't expected, but anyway, your default to start out with is 12. Alright, so I'm going to change the font from this Britannic bold to something a little bit easier to read on the internet. Let's just go with Arial for right now, and I'm going to change this to 20. Notice that I'm selecting that and typing in the size. Okay. From another activity, actually it was Oahu, my text width was increased, so I have a feeling that I need to go to my character panel, yep, and change this back to 100%. Okay, that's better. Alright, so that's red, that's not going to work, so I'm selecting my text. I'm going to go up here to text color, and just like I showed you before, I'm going to click over here in that closet door and pick up a shade of brown. Okay, and click OK. Very good. Alright, now I'm going to go to the move tool, and I am going over to the layers panel, and I'm going to choose blending options. And this can get crazy and fun, okay? So there are lots of different options here, and you can get lost in it and get really carried away, but stay with me for just a moment. Okay, what we're going to do is apply a glow feature to this. So the best thing to always do when you're picking an effect, and it calls it styles, but is to not just click on the box, but to click on the word so you get all of your possibilities and your options. Okay, so let's start again with opacity. The higher the opacity, the more solid the shade or tone of color that you have. So I'm going to slide mine down to in the 60s. Noise makes things scratchy. Alright, so sometimes that's kind of cool, but for this particular job, we're not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in right quick. Oh, I can't because I'm in that box. So, alright, we'll just go with this. Alright, spread does just what it spreads it out. Okay, so, and then size increases the amount of glow. Alright, so let's see, this may be size 10, spread 7 to 10. I don't really care. This you can play with how you want to. Okay, but I do want it to look like it's glowing. Okay, so that's a little too much. Spread's a little high, so let's keep spread to about a 5. And then the size of the glow, increase that. Alright, now that opacity needs to go down. Okay, and we can also change the color where the glow is not necessarily that shade of yellow. We could go to white even. Okay, or you could pick up a shade from the carpet, that taupe color, maybe go a light gray, and that doesn't really show up, so let's go back to this. That yellow color was, the default yellow was really bright, so you can play with this. I'm going to go with kind of the beige color and decrease the size a little bit to that. And let's see. Alright, I think I'm good. Inner glow, we change the color, give it some dimension. At this point we could stroke our word. Okay, and the size of the stroke, I could make that smaller so that stands out a little bit more. Position outside, inside. Okay, you put a stroke on the inside of the letter and it's going to fill in, so you have to have a huge or a larger font size. Center does just what it says, it puts it in the center, so that's kind of cool. I can't really tell this zoomed out, but you get the idea. There's lots of things that you can do. You can add a drop shadow and you know, give it a little shadow. Look there. And this just goes back to, you're not going to learn all the tools that Photoshop has available unless you play with some, you know, move things around and play with it. So, oops, that changed the shadow of my photo. So, be careful. And but anyway, this is the look we're going for, so we're going to click OK. And we're going to go to, this is one of the times where I turn off show transform controls because I don't like the size of my text box showing all the time, and I want you to move that text box around to where you think it, I think it should be right here, okay, or right there, but it's up to you. Alright, you don't want it across over here because it's just kind of busy over there. So, you know, at the left, you know, just to the right of that window or right above the bed, you know, is fine. Just remember, everything doesn't have to be simple centered all the time. Okay, be creative and enjoy playing with Photoshop. Alright, so at this point we're going to file and save again. And here are all your layers that you have. I'm going to increase the size of my layer panel so you can see. And I'm also going to show you, you can turn that off and turn it back on. Okay, cool. Very good. Finish master bedroom and save it on your desktop in your folder.